When you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you will finally see the truth that hero lies in you. The coronavirus pandemic has halted normal life, and the people across the globe are fighting it. In times of this crisis, we teachers, Mr. Biju PM, Mrs. Misha Madhu, Mrs. Regimol Sebastian, under the able guidance of our respected Principal Madam, Mrs. Gina TV, are here with the second video with the series of videos planned and prepared for children who are confined at home. I invite all the students and the parents to watch this video together and spread the awareness. All people, no matter their age, sex, color, religion, or where they live, have the same basic needs to live a healthy life. These needs include food, shelter, education, healthcare, and freedom from discrimination. Human rights are children's right too. Here, we will give you an insight about child and child rights, types of rights, major elements of child rights, problem statement on child rights in India, various acts and laws, integrated child protection scheme, and crime against children. Please watch. Child and child rights. According to UNCRC, a child is a human being below the age of 18 years. Child rights are specialized human rights that apply to all human beings below the age of 18. Children's rights are human rights worth particular attention to the rights of special protection and care afforded to the young. The Convention on the Rights of the Child is the most endorsed human rights treaty in the world, ratified by all but 2 countries. Adopted by United Nations General Assembly on 20 November 1989, it celebrates childhood and codifies in international law the rights due every child. Children are the future of a nation. For an emerging and developing country like India, development of unprivileged children holds the key to the progress of the nation itself. The Convention on the Rights of the Child defines basic rights of children covering multiple needs and issues. India endorsed it on December 11, 1992. Basic child rights according to the Convention on Rights of Child. According to the Convention on Rights of Child, the right to education. 50% of Indian children aged 6 to 18 do not go to school. Dropout rates increase alarmingly in class 3 to 4. It's 50% for boys and 58% for girls. The right to expression. Every child has a right to express himself freely in whichever way he feels like to. Majority of children, however, exploited by their elders and not allowed to express themselves. The right to information. Every child has right to know his basic rights and his position in the society. High incidence of illiteracy and ignorance among the deprived and unprivileged children prevents them from having access to information about them and their society. Types of rights defined by UNCRC, United Nations Convention, Rights of the Child. Types of rights: survival rights, development rights, protection rights, and participation rights. Major elements of child rights. Major elements of child rights: right to association with both parents, human identity as well as basic needs for physical fitness, food and health care, universal state paid education, freedom from all types of discrimination. Problem statement on child rights. 2.2 billion of the world's people are under 18 years old, with 2 billion from developing countries. 30,500 children under age 5 die every day of preventable diseases such as diarrhea, pneumonia, and malnutrition. Every month, 50,000 children under 15 are infected with AIDS. All children in developing countries, 20% of those aged 5 to 15 are engaged in child labor in hazardous and harmful conditions. 30% under 5 are underweight, nearly 40% suffer from stunt growth, and over 50% are malnutritioned. More children today live in poverty than 10 years ago, and more children find themselves in a more violent and unstable environment. Globally, 36% of women aged 20 to 24 were married or in union before they reached 18 years age. An estimated 14 million adolescents between 15 and 19 give birth each year. Girls in this age group are twice as likely to die during pregnancy or childbirth as women in their 20s. Currently, there are 350,000 child soldiers engaged in armed conflict throughout the world. Under international human rights law, age 18 is the minimum acceptable age for direct participation in armed conflicts. It is estimated that more than 8 million children have either been maimed or killed as a direct result of armed conflict in the last decade. Additionally, the use of landmines has led to approximately 10,000 deaths or severe injuries every year. Child rights in India. India's perception about child rights. The Constitution of India recognizes the vulnerable position of children and their right to protection. Article 15 in the Constitution guarantees special attention to children through necessary and special laws and policies that safeguard their rights. The right to equality, protection of life and personal liberty, and the right against exploitation are enshrined in Article 14, 15, 16, 17, 21, 23, and 34. Acts and laws for child rights protection in India. India has adopted a number of laws and formulated a range of policies to ensure children's protection and improvement in their situation. The Guardian and Wards Act 1980, Factories Act 1948, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956, Probation of Offenders Act 1958, Bombay Prevention of Begging Act 1959, Orphanage and Other Charitable Homes Supervision and Control Act 1960, Feeding Bottles and Infant Foods Regulation of Production, Supply and Distribution Act 1992, National Nutrition Policy 1993, Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Regulation and Prevention of Misuse Act 1994, Persons with Disabilities, Equal Protection of Rights and Full Participation Act 2000, Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act 2000, National Health Policy 2002, National Charter for Children 2004, National Plan for Action for Children 2005, Commission for Protection of Rights of the Child 2005. Education of Children. The 86th Amendment of Constitution on the fundamental rights to education for the 6 to 14 years age group has led to the inclusion of an additional clause under Article 51A that imposes a fundamental duty upon parents or guardians to provide opportunities for education of their children or wards between the ages of 16 and 14 years. Juvenile Justice Act. The Act places children or juveniles in two categories. Juvenile in conflict with law handled by state government or juvenile bodies. Children in need of care and protection to be looked after by state governments or child welfare committees. Act to be implemented by the respective state governments. Integrated Child Protection Scheme, a vision for the future. ICPS, Integrated Child Protection Scheme, and its objective: to provide an environment for safe and wholesome development of the children who are in need of care and protection, as well as children in conflict with law. To overcome the shortcomings and gaps in the implementation of the existing child protection schemes with some additional components. The program for juvenile justice, Shishugraha scheme and street children will be merged under ICPS. ICPS Care, Protection and Rehabilitation Services. Emergency Outreach Service through Childline. Transitional shelters for children in need in urban and semi-urban area. Family-based non-institutional care through sponsorships, foster care, adoption and aftercare program. Institutional services, shelter homes, children's homes, observation homes, special homes and specialized services for children with special needs. General grant in aid for need-based innovative interventions. Crimes against children in India. The pie chart represents the highest child crime happens because of procuration of minor girls, followed by other crimes, infanticide and feticide, kidnapping and abduction, prostitution, murder and rape. Children everywhere are vulnerable to abuse and exploitation by those in positions of power and trust. Crimes against children. Punishments for cruelty: imprisonment for a term of 6 months or fine, or both. Employment for begging: imprisonment may extend up to 3 years and also fine. Penalty for giving psychotropic substances: imprisonment may extend up to 7 years and also fine. Exploitation of child employees: imprisonment may extend up to 7 years and also fine, except upon the advice of a duly qualified medical practitioner. Crime against children are cognizable offences. On receipt of complaint, the police must arrest the perpetrator. Police must file an FIR. Police will release the child on bail. Conclusion: a visible shift from an approach of charity to that of rendering justice to children by guaranteeing their rights. An effective implementation, groundswell of support, fair environment. Alarming concern as children are being misused. Our social responsibility to take care of the children and to protect their rights. If all suggestions taken seriously, India would be a safer place for the children. I am the child. You hold in your hand my destiny. You determine whether I shall succeed or fail. Give me, I pray, those things that make for happiness. Train me, I beg, that I may be a blessing to the world. Thank you for watching. Wait for the next video on fundamental rights.